Alright, now today I'll be taking a quick look at this 282 Mikado. It was bought brand new, straight from a model shop, and actually I think it's the first time that I actually bought an engine new from a model shop before. So I'll get into how that experience went here in a second. If I take it out of the box, there's the standard model power casing that I knew from my other one, paperwork, blah blah blah, but here is what we all came to see. The model itself. So you can see it looks really good at first glance there, and I'll take it out here so you can see it even better. So here it is in all of its glory. Looks really good. I really like the look of this. But the first thing I noticed, of course, is the back end. You'll notice that these little connectors here are your standard knuckle couplers. Now, that's a problem because I don't have any knuckle couplers on any of my cars or coaches or rolling stock. What I do have are the older Rapido kind, and a few have that Mikado connector, which of course is not compatible with this guy. However, since I did buy it from a model shop, as I talked about earlier, even if you read the description, it clearly says knuckle coupler included, equipped with Rapido couplers. Now, Rapido couplers were nowhere to be seen anywhere in the box whatsoever, and clearly what you have installed and equipped with is not the Rapido couplers as I expected, but the knuckle couplers, which I can't use. So when I run it around the track, I don't have any cars to connect it to. I reached out to the model people I bought this from. I won't throw their name under the bus because this is just probably an honest mistake. But they said they didn't have any in stock with Rapido couplers, which is a problem. So they are just going to give me a refund, because I can't use it in its current state. But anyway, here it is on the track. No cars behind it because, like I said, can't really pull anything, which is unfortunate. But we're going to do a quick little run around anyway, just by itself. Now, I also want to take the time to introduce my latest feature on the track, which is a full triple reverse loop that I put in there just because I had some extra track laying around. So that's kind of cool, I guess. And we'll get this thing going, so of course you can see just how this one moves around. Now I really like the look of this thing. It looks like a train. Now, you've heard me say that a lot probably, and you know, I mean it when I say it. It's even got this Vanderbilt tender on the back here. One of the main reasons why I got it, because I didn't have any other train with it. It's kind of more of a tanker, I guess. Kind of a tender. I assume it has something to do with the Vanderbilts, since it's called a Vanderbilt tender. But overall look, really like it. Giving it a 9. It's a good rating there. Now, if I compare it, if I quickly do, to my other model power that I reviewed earlier, I think it even looks better than that one. So, this one, of course, has more of a red look in the back, big ugly letters, a big ugly Southern Pacific on the back. It looks kind of cheapish and fake to me from that regard. It's also a, what is it, a 462, I'm sorry, whereas this guy is a 282. So while the engines themselves are pretty much the same, this one might have a little darker front, but you can tell it's the same type of molding and model, just different wheelbases and a different tender. I do think this guy does look a bit better than the other one. For those materials, this is a model power, so all their engines, I believe, are going to be a metal casing, so this is all metal up in here. Really feels nice, really looks nice. So, love the materials. The back, however, I don't think is metal. I think it's plastic, but it's hard to tell. It's really thick plastic if it is. But overall, I think the materials are pretty top-notch. I'm giving it a 9. It does seem to be pretty well made. Now this type of model, these Mikados, if you will, are fairly common, so not too special there in terms of the model itself. However, this Vanderbilt tender is fairly rare. You don't see these too often. In fact, I wouldn't say only Model Power, I think I've seen only of them have that kind of tender on the back. I'm giving it a 5 right down the middle, mainly for the tender. It's the only kind of uniqueness piece about it, because like I said, a lot of people do these models, so there's a lot out there. As with my other Model Power one, it does kind of get a little noisy. It's more of a subdued screech, but the screech is definitely there. Kind of disappointing in that. I do like my quiet engines, so I'm giving it a 3 in terms of the screech. Power needed to get this thing moving, nothing too concerning to write home about. I'm giving it a 5 right down the middle. It seems to go around halfway up the dial, something like that, so not terrible, not great, right down the middle. For the motor strength, it seems to be fairly strong. I was testing this earlier. It does seem to have some power behind it. I'm giving it an 8 on that rating. I think that's fair. Alright, since I can't pull anything, when I was testing this out to see exactly what its strength was, I was going to just hold this back a little bit to tell, but you can see what happened. Look, it just pulled that right out of there completely. I'm trying to get it back in, but we'll see if I can. Hopefully I can. But there is no little lip in there that I can tell that this thing connects to. So, you know, as powerful as this engine sure seems to be, it probably can't pull much, because just like my other one, so my other review, these connectors just come apart like crazy. So there really needs to be a better structurally sound solution to get this thing a little more solid so it can really utilize the strength behind the motor there. Alright, here it comes down for the slow crawl test. Probably about as slow as it can go before it really starts to jitter there, but as it is right now, it's pretty smooth, not terrible. If you can hear that, there is kind of a bit of a whine even at these slow speeds, so that's gonna ding it back a little bit. I'm giving it an 8 for this, because even though it looks good in motion, bit of a whine, and it could also go a little slower too. Derailment, I just got this thing. I haven't played around with it too much, but it doesn't seem like it's going to derail on you. The biggest struggle, of course, is getting it on the track to begin with, and without a re-railer, it could be a bit of a struggle. So I'm giving it an 8. Problems, even though I just got this, it seems to have its fair share. Like I said, right off the bat, it has the wrong coupler on the back, which isn't a ding against the model, I guess. It's more of a ding against the company I bought this from for not describing what they're selling to me correctly, or having the right one in stock. But also, as I said, when I was doing a little motor strength test there, the tender came right off the back. So that, of course, is a big problem, especially if you have a good long train you want to pull. You can't really pull that much because all the friction is just going to pull that thing out again. So I'm dinging that back to a 5, unfortunately. Like I said, I will be returning this because it does have the wrong couplers on it, but all things considered, I'm kind of glad that I am. Now the dollar amount I paid for this was $114 all said and done. Now like I said, this was a brand new engine. Even though Model Power, I believe, went out of business around 2014, I think. So this must have just been sitting on the shelf since then. I believe the original retail price was upwards of like $240, $250, if I looked it up correctly. And this thing was discounted on back to $160, and then there was a super sale going on the site for $99, and then with shipping, everything, and all that, It ended up being 114. So, you know, if you ding it back from the original retail price, I think it's a deal. That's one of the reasons why I got it, because you don't see these too many model powers out there that are brand new, especially because they went out of business apparently. So I jumped all over this one, thinking I was going to get a great engine. A little pricey from my end, and if you bundle in all the problems that I've had so far, I'm giving it a 4. Because that is a bit steep, especially since I don't pay over 100 for like any other engine I have. Only 2 or 3 were more than this one. But, you know, like I said, the fact that it was brand new was a huge selling point for me, because I typically devil in the used market, if you will, because it's far cheaper. And I really wanted one with a Vanderbilt engine or tender on the back. I thought that was kind of cool. But at the end of the day, it might not be worth it. So I'm glad I am returning this, because they screwed up and gave me the wrong coupler. Now, when you sum it all up there, it comes in at 64, which isn't super good. It's not god-awful terrible, I guess. It's definitely has its perks. The best, I think, feature of this is its look. And its motor strength. Unfortunately, you can't really take advantage of that, or at least I can't. And especially if it comes undone so easily, probably nobody can either. Am I happy I got it? Yes, I got to do this review of it. But am I happy I'm returning it? Yeah, I'd have to say yes as well, especially for that price point. It's a little steeper. I think worth keeping, if you will, would have been down around 60, maybe 70 for what you get. Still a great looking model though, like I said. Alright, that's all she wrote for this one. A lot more to come. Hope maybe I'll end up buying this one again. Who knows? Let us know what you think below, and stay tuned for more.